Monday, February 5th. Selectmen meeting, I'd like to call to order with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first up, we have public input. I'm presuming that Max is here to give us some input.
Yes, but I will defer if...
Where are we? Okay.
Alright. So I did bring... Let me just bring it up. It's Max Ledoux from Tuftonboro Corner. And first of all, I was going to apologize to the lady who was here last week because I was a little rude to her when she asked me what my name was.
Whoa.
Oh.
Was that
Was
Ashley?
No, it was
No. I found it amusing that you didn't know what my name was, and I didn't think it through that what I said was a little rude to you, so sorry.
Accepted, thank you.
But what I came last week to say, as you recall, was please fire the police chief because he's incompetent. And I thought that I had, yes. So, sorry?
Incontinent? Competent.
Confident.
Let the record hear that it was Chip
I'm just
who
trying
said
to-
incontinent.
I'm just trying to-
I have no idea. No, I want to say it's, I have nothing against Andy personally, other than that, he tried to violate my rights, but that's professional. And if you don't know that, he opened a police investigation into my political opinion on Facebook, and I took exception to that. And then he closed the case because he realized that it was inappropriate. That's the way I viewed it. So anyway, RSA 10, all three of you, I believe, have expressed that you would like to fire him. That's my opinion. Maybe that's not the way you would put it. But I have been told by more than one of you that you can't. And I say that that's just simply not true. And so we maybe have an disagreement about that. But here is RSA 105(2)(a). And talks about the police chief, you can look it up. Such chief shall be subject to suspension without pay or dismissal only for cause, and after he or she has been presented with a written specification of the reasons. Then it goes on to say that the police chief can, file can take that to court and dispute it. That seems reasonable to me. You have to tell the police why you're firing him, and then he can say, well, that's not a valid reason. I'm going to take it to court. Or he could say, it's a valid reason. I'm not going to take him to court. So in my opinion, if you want to get rid of him, you can, but he might dispute it. So
I think it just requires patience, Max.
you may be aware that I sometimes am lacking in patience. He's not enforcing the speeding limit. We all know that. You've talked about that a lot.
Well, I think we've all had the conversation. I think that's as far as we can go tonight. But it is in process. Everything's in process.
Okay. I just wanted to come down here and say my reading of the statute is you can absolutely fire him for any reason, for cause, and my opinion is that you should, and I recognize that there are probably discussions that you've had in a closed session that I'm not aware of and that I shouldn't be aware of.
But you will be aware of
Okay.
someday.
All right.
But you just have to be patient.
All right. So you just waiting for him to retire, or what?
I think I've said as much as I'm going to say.
Okay. I wanted to also say that I always really appreciate how Chip is always willing to engage in a conversation. And
Okay.
I'll be gone soon, so you'll have to find somebody else.
Yeah. Well, I was just waiting for you to. Yeah, no, I won't say that. But thank you for listening to me. I'm clearly not going to get anything else from you.
Not today.
Not today.
All right. I've made my feelings clear, I hope. So maybe you have something to say now?
No.
I will yield the floor.
This is Dennis Zalembo, he's the Parks and Rec director. How are you?
He's on the agenda
He's
Oh,
on the
okay.
agenda.
for his monthly report.
I'm getting fired today.
Okay. Oh, that's the other thing. I don't know, maybe this is your project.
What's that?
All the stuff going on proposed at
Central Park.
Central Park. I personally think that's all crazy. but
You'll
I'll
have plenty
take up
of
your
time to talk about that at town meeting.
It's a process.
Right.
That's okay. I'll hold my fire for town meeting.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we move along? Because this is your chance.
Yes. Why do you have your meetings when working people have to work? It's
We
a
don't.
real.
4:30.
Right?
Well, I work till 5.
No matter what time of the day we have a meeting, it's gonna be inconvenient for someone.
Mm.
Now, what I visualize here in your case
My apologies.
is Atlas holding the world on his shoulders. Okay? So, that's why we have our meeting at 4:30, because more people can show up. If they were to come in at 5, and I would, as chairman, in between some of our stuff, I would allow a public comment at that point in time.
That's perfect. That
And
is
we have.
excellent. I didn't know
And we
that.
have.
and you
I'm
have.
sorry if I hadn't made that clear a couple of years ago, but
Yeah. I think that's a great policy. Started at 4 or 4:30, but if you're hearing people show up, let them talk. Thank you. I'll get
You're
out of your hair.
I'm not gonna guarantee that'll happen after town meeting, because I won't be here.
Right.
Yeah, about that. You should run again.
Have a great evening.
Thank you. I gotta go back to work.
Next up, we've got Dennis Zalembo, our Parks and Recreation.
Do you want to do
Director?
the minutes first?
Oh, crap, I'm sorry. I want to get Dennis out of here. We'll go through the minutes. All right, first off, Monday, January 8th.
I have read the minutes. I don't have any corrections.
I'll second Bob's motion.
All in favor?
Uh,
And we have minutes of a non-public session for January 8th.
Same, no corrections, move to.
I'll second that. All set, Chip?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All in favor? Aye. And then we have minutes from January 29th.
One correction on page 2, right at the very top, first word came in spelled wrong. But that's it. I move that we accept the minutes as corrected.
First page at the top.
Second page,
Oh,
first word.
gotcha.
I'll second Bob's motion.
All in favor? Aye. Now we have Dennis.
I hope you two didn't get your feelings hurt because you didn't speak up. He likes kids speaking
Well,
up.
if I have something to say, I will say it.
Let's talk about Parks and Rec.
Just pass this around. These are champs on the dodgeball. Right? Commissioners meeting tomorrow, Bob, but it's pretty much just to clear up the minutes. I took the minutes. Not good.
Not good.
So we gotta correct one of the major items on that, so that's tomorrow. So I'm not sure if you really need to be there, but certainly we'd love to have you.
They look like champs,
Yeah.
especially that guy.
We did, we're getting quite a few responses back from the letter we sent out to people with donations, so
Good.
that was good.
I think that was a good idea.
Well, the little town of Tuftonville now has another national champ this Saturday out in Las Vegas.
All right.
Yeah.
This past Saturday?
Saturday, we
Jeez.
sent 4 people, and they all appreciate what you did, helping with the expense. But
Wow.
Brendan blew the place away. He ran the 40 and the 40-yard dash in 5 seconds flat.
Wait a minute, if I may. I thought this was punt, pass, and kick.
Yeah, they added two other.
They added two, all right.
Yeah, one's a broad jump, one's a 40-yard dash.
Pentathlon.
But he threw it well over 50 yards, and he was first in the broad jump, first in the run, first in the pass, second in punt, second in kick. But he was the national champ 2 years ago, second last year, come back and won it again this year.
Congratulations.
Excellent.
So let's
Yeah.
make sure he's at the town meetings. We can-
Yeah, that'd be a great thing, I think.
Yep.
I did
Stand up.
email Alyssa Paquette to see if we could get a news release and photo with all four of the people.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
we did have one other kid from Maine that they don't have it in Maine, so he came to ours. So, Nolan Chemansky was second, Logan Gill was fourth, and then there was the Maine kid and Michaela Chemansky. So, it's Super Bowl week this week, so they had quite an experience out there, you know. And they got a chance to go to Red Rock Canyon, and so it was a nice trip.
That's good.
Yeah. So the Cornhole League is only 4 sign-ups, so I shifted gears. We've got roughly 26, 27 kids, guys playing basketball, so we're starting a 3-on-3 league. So I'd rather have the big numbers with that. And we normally Cornhole signs up like nothing. We only have 12 teams, but there's only 4, so we shifted gear. That's a 3-on-3. I will talk about this. Whew, the other night we had our first adult dodgeball. It was actually, we had 25 people there, and I'm told that there's gonna be a gang showing up Thursday, so we'll have probably close to.
This gang dodgeball.
Adult dodgeball.
It's adult, and I'm gonna tell you, well, we started 2 weeks ago, and the first night, sure enough, and all the people are, 30s, 40s, there's no real young people, but girl's going backwards, not trying to get hit, and she falls, hits her wrist, so she's sore, so we get her home, put ice on it and stuff. She broke her arm. She did sign a waiver, so they all sign waivers, so. Whew. Anyway, that's
dodgeball.
it's funny to see these people really having a ball, throwing balls and getting hit, and it was kind of an experiment, but I think it's working out all right. This was just a shot from the Ice Fest. Saturday we were down there. We got to do some work on the shed. The doors are just all rotted, so we put a board across it, and we were down there. But it's a nice setup. I mean, she does a nice job. I emailed her to see if she could.
So this is the brewery that puts
The
this
Blue
on.
Fest, yeah.
I drove by there.
It's ice cream.
Yeah.
Ton of people showed. Great day for it.
I thought, yeah, it was nice weather. But anyway, I think 1,000 to 1,400, but they had all kinds of food vendors, 35 brewers. And they run the shuttle buses and stuff like that. But, it went over good.
Were there sufficient toilet facilities?
There were less than other years. Other years they had over a dozen because they went right out into the parking lot, all the portalets. But when I was there Saturday, it looked like they only had half of those. Yeah. So, and not a lot of woods down there either. So. Paint class is next Monday. Easter egg hunt, we're gonna do that up at. They know that it's weather permitted because last year we had probably close to 400 people. I think you were there between kids and adults. And I told them, if there's snow, we're not going to do it up there. We're going to do it down at Central Park. I says, but the other thing we're going to do is time schedule. 5 and under will be at 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock will be 6 to 8. We just couldn't do what we wanted to do with that many kids, especially with the snow all over the place. So we had 3,500 eggs. I ordered another 3 grand. It's coming in. So it's quite a few eggs. And I think what happens too, I think people from other towns come too, which is fine.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't believe we have that many children in the
No,
school district.
no.
But that last year, that was well attended.
Yeah, it was great. Parking all the way up in that.
Yeah.
It wasn't, like I say, the best of weather. So anyway, we're gonna work with Sentinel, and we do have a new. We've got 2 actually bunny suits. I got a new one. The kid that plays our bunny there. He's actually a professional mascot, believe it or not, in the college. So he had asked me, and we had extra money, so we bought a new one, so it's a beautiful suit. So if anyone ever needs it. The contract for the bands are going out, the contracts are in except one. We got 7 in, 1 back. Ricky and the Giants is holding out on me. But anyway, the sponsorship for the sponsors, they're going out this week, and we've added a little thing. So if you know of any sponsor you think I'm not getting, let me know. And last year I think we brought in 5,100 in sponsorships. So what else we got? Yeah, this is that cookout that was supposed to be this past weekend. You guys are invited. It's on the 24th, 5 o'clock. And that's up at the townhouse. It's just a chance to get them together, thank them, get them pumped up for the new year. We got shirts for them, so it should be a good day. Swim lessons, we got good news. Ella's coming back. Yoga, good news. Deb Leahy's coming back. I think that's all I have. I did talk to Jack. I feel bad, and I understand what he was saying. We got it's almost a brand new refrigerator donated. It's starting to shed down. And then we got a stove donated. He can't let us do it up there, he says, whether it's a septic or not. But by having those 2 little things, we could have a Super Bowl party this week. You could have potluck, birthdays, showers, whatever. And really use that facility, but without those 2 items, I don't think we can. And Jack put the nix on it last week, so it's too bad.
I'm sure it's with good reason.
Oh, I'm sure. He's got a job to do, so we'll use the fridge down at the beach. It'll be good. That's all I have. Sure.
Great.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
Have at it.
It's a slow time, basically.
It'll pick up.
Yeah.
I know. No, I know.
It's coming.
So anyway, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you
very
so
much.
much.
All right.
We're just,
Still sore from
we're actually
fall.
tad ahead of schedule, but the police chief will be next with a monthly update. Does anybody want to go see if he's ready to do that, please? That shouldn't take long. Oh, Cammy, if I may,
Yes.
can I give you these now, because I forgot to do it for you. These non-publics need to go bye-bye, not in the trash.
All set, so we have to take it someplace, get the stuff stripped off it, and then it can put up rocks or whatever. And Beer Fest was last weekend. I think it went pretty good. I mean, there's still there seemed to be a shortage of porta potties for a spell. We seem to need to go all at once.
As soon as that first seal was broken.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
fine.
Drinking beer.
It started at noon, about 1 o'clock, there was a line of over 100 people. Right around 100 people. I estimated it by going, it's about 10 groups of 10 or so.
Yeah.
And then like by 1:30, it was like 10 people in line, so. In the meantime, I was yelling at people that were trying to go off into on the side of the road right there.
Yeah. Any rests?
I didn't arrest anybody, I just told them,
Right.
get back in line. And still, working on the background on the applicant. That's going. So, obviously, the other part, I sent a letter retiring March 1st, so.
I'm gonna say congratulations, you've been at this a long time.
36 years in law enforcement, 35 as a full-time police officer, 25 years chief. Not too many that go that long.
That's a good run.
Sure is, I'm hoping that it's gonna work out real well for you. You can take a break and take a breather for a minute anyway.
Well, he told me he was running for moderator.
Yeah, I did put, nobody else put in for it.
Oh, you
so
did?
I put in for it.
Good.
So,
We need a moderator, obviously.
well, somebody would have stepped up, I'm sure anyways, but
Maybe.
I did.
Great. Well, again, congratulations.
Yep.
Appreciate your service all these years, and like you said, it's been a long time. It hasn't always been easy sledding either.
No, but, I'm proud of where we came. I came here, we had like no training records. We had one shotgun with no records proving anybody was qualified to use it. Obviously, we didn't have portables, we didn't have anything other than guns and think we had 1 can of OC spray. Obviously, we've got our training up. We had a minimal first evidence collection. It was pretty, I was told it was pretty good. Then I looked at it, I said, no, it's not very good. So anyway, we progressed quite a bit from there, you know, got the
Great.
training, and obviously but it's still continuing. I mean, this year, there's now more training required to keep some of your certifications than there was last year, so it keeps going. But anyway, that's it's that. No immediate plans right now. Your wife's gonna have more in your house for a little bit.
You gotta decompress for a while.
Yeah.
So we'll be posting this position next week, I hope. 'Cause I
Yeah.
can't wait a long time, but we
Sooner than later.
probably should have Sergeant Hathcock come in just so we've got some kind of transition, just in case nobody shows up.
Yep.
Um,
Obviously, I'll help as best I can.
It'll be appreciated. Great. Anything else that you guys have for the chief?
Nope.
Anything else for us, chief, that you can think of right off the top of
No,
your head?
just gotta, like I said, I found out 2023 is close to being done. Like I said, they sent the wrong seat, and the computer mount wasn't the, I thought it had a computer mount with the old car, it didn't.
Hmm.
So they had to order one. So that'll be a few more weeks, and that'll be ready. And the 2016 we'll pick it up this week, and I'll find someplace to strip the stickers off it so we can put it up for auction or whatever we decide to do.
That's an Explorer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, the devil's in the details this time, with all this stuff, and that's what it ends up being, doesn't it?
and
Right.
that's where we're at, pretty much.
Okay, well,
Alright,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
And,
thanks.
don't hesitate to drop in again before you leave.
I will.
All right, thank you. Next up would be the highway. That's up till 5:30. We have quite a bit of time on our hands. I think we could probably do some signing of signatures
Yeah.
to roll along. We have here the personnel action form for the hiring of Richard Estes, which we approved at the transfer station. Requires 3 signatures. I'd make a motion to sign that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That might be another, yeah, that's good. Then we have a proposal for well, it's called the tax map maintenance proposal.
What's that for?
Well, I'm looking at this.
Because we want over budget substantially, honestly.
I'm trying to find the number and I'm not seeing them.
I think I saw 3,300.
There it is. $3,300.
Because tax map last year, right? They charged us $6,000.
Right. This one's 3,300.
Well, we thought it was gonna be 3,150 last year, that's
Right.
what our budget was.
It also has the caveat that there would be a $20 fee for any buildings added or changed. For example, if we built a police station, even though it's a government building,
I think it's any building,
well, that's what it says, but I'm just using that as an example because we don't have one. But,
32 houses,
right,
that's,
without that, another $600 right there,
right.
if they have to add to it. So, that's what we have for a proposal.
Your 2024 proposed budget is $6,000.
Is that our 20, I didn't look at it.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I should sign it.
Thank you, that was my next question. I guess I could have looked it up myself.
Yeah. Neither one of us good.
And so could I have one. Next, we have a petition and poll license. This is from TDS Telecom. Gonna go on the county road, it's got a map here. What they need to do. So. On the back page, we need to sign it. Why don't you look at that before we get too carried away with it? Thank you.
It's a mid-span pole.
Yes.
Yeah, that's easy enough.
Yeah, it's nothing complicated, but it gives you a better idea what's going on than me trying to explain it.
Yeah. I'll move that we sign this.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That we have an application for a veterans exemption.
So moved.
All in order.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is one of those print and sign ones. Print and sign and date. Let's all remember that it's now 24 and not 23. Following that, we have a very thick document, which is actually the conservation easement deed that we talked about with our Conservation Commission chairman. This is for the former Lion property. And it has to do with Moose Mountain Greenways. It came through all the official paperwork. It's
So that's the
rather wordy.
conservation easement.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we sign that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is also a sound date.
You saved the best for last. All the initials.
Which one of you is a notary?
Me.
I am, I already notarized Steve's. Steve had his page there, so I
We don't
notarized
have a selectman that's a notary.
that.
This is the Great Meadow Expansion Conservation Easement Baseline Documentation Report. There are initials that have to be done on every page,
Mm-hmm,
it says here.
mm-hmm.
We are the grantor.
Is it only just one signature that's needed or all of us?
It has.
Everybody's got a page.
Every single page has to be initialed, and then the signature. We have plenty of time. Sometimes it works out, we started late, but they're able to
Right?
catch right up. I'm gonna undo this because it's a lot easier. This is fairly heavy paper, so time the three of us get through it, we'll see if anybody missed one. It's not as bad as you might think. That's gonna do it for the signature file.
Whoever they are, list all three of us as chairman.
Nice.
Sign it.
There's no autocracy here.
It's actually looks not green.
I think it's looking for initials on the rest of these pages, so.
Oh, I didn't
Initial
see
every
that.
page.
I missed it. That's why I mentioned it.
You in the affidavit?
Everywhere there's initials at the bottom, you need to initial.
Oh, I see.
I get those when they come back. I just saw the maps and I said, oh, those don't need insurance. Yes, they do. Not as easy as I thought.
Date it, or do you want to date it?
I dated it.
No, it's still.
Fifth. Initial that map? Did you initial that page? The map?
It doesn't have an initial thing on it. Oh, it does.
Usually they all do. That's what I was looking at too. I didn't look closely. The whole slew more papers coming in.
Okay, so
I'll take those.
I'm gonna do that one. Good.
I gotta do that one. Yeah. Did either of you get any word from Jim Bean that he wouldn't be attending tonight by any
I
chance?
texted him and he's already on his way.
Okay,
I said, we're a little ahead of schedule, and he said, I'm leaving right now.
perfect. Kind of nice when you can roll along. Thank you. That's it, he's more so thorough. We may as well look at some correspondence, which I have here. Okay, we already have discussed Chief Shigura's letter. We have a memo from the transfer station superintendent that they took 5 large air conditioners, 4 large computer printers, 1 fax machine, and 1 old computer monitor out of the basement. Those charges, if they were to be collected, would be $105. We have the library's monthly report. We have a notice of a decision by the ZBA to grant a appeal of Peter Ray and Sheila Giancarlo for an equitable waiver on their zoning requirements. Nice. We have a letter from Mr. Randy Owen. And we have a standard dredge and fill application, went through the planning and the Conservation Commission, and all this sort of supporting documentation with Horizons Engineering. So that one was thoroughly vetted. And that's correspondence. And now we have our road agent who's
I'm not late.
looking chipper. We can take you right now. Thank you.
Want to?
Yes, please. You have one.
I do, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So since January 1st, we've been called out to plow, treat, or both, 18 times, 18 days so far for the month of January, which is a fair amount. And in between snow, we've been filling the sand shed that was nearly empty in the beginning of January, cleaning off the catch basins, cutting in water drains in the snow banks, and cutting back the limbs that are reaching over in the road when the snow is on them. It's more noticeable when you're in the town truck, new town truck, and they're hitting the mirror, which is probably a $2,500 mirror, and the windshield. So we're cutting those back. We cut a bunch of dead ash trees that have died from the ash borer. And we built a new guardrail on finished graves after all the trees on the one side had died, and we had no more guardrail. And we did some storm damage repairs on the edges of the road from a storm that we had in late December. So we had to do some repairs there as well. And that's it.
Budget committee has asked for a bunch of information from you for this next meeting. Is that all together?
Yes.
Okay.
And are you coming to that or not?
I'm not even aware when it is or.
Tomorrow.
We're on at 6:30.
Oh, really?
It wasn't requested.
No,
Okay,
okay.
I'm just.
We're talking about warrant articles, we're not talking about budget. And
Right, there was a
There-
question about the paving, that's the reason I asked.
Did we iron that all out? I know we talked about it, and it sounded like we were trying to push to get more done than,
Oh,
last year.
I think we've got the, well, they hadn't voted on paving, but
No, they haven't voted on any of the warrant articles yet.
No,
So-
if I recall correctly, your recommendation was to finish Pefton Borough Neck Road.
Yeah, we're gonna, yeah,
I think I put it in the description of the warrant articles I.
Top Coat, Shirley Way Loop,
I'll go Shirley Way.
and, Woodland Drive, which is off of that.
Yep.
And so the one things that, I guess the things that I was really hoping for was to do the second half, Top Road and that. And then if there was money enough, we could put a second, top coat, top to bar next, so it's completed and done. And then the other question was if we had money to do Chandler Way, which is leading into Shirley Way. We wanted to do that. It's not in as bad a shape as other roads, but I didn't know if we wanted to finish that road off or not.
How, what would you consider the condition in versus Pine Mill Drive?
Pine Mill's worse.
well, we've got 625,000 earmarked for warrant articles for paving. I mean, I'm not gonna take your list out because you've got it right there in front of you.
This is just a hand list I made, but I don't know, I don't have the price one with me. but I'll find it.
you mean this price one?
Yes. Okay, so you think we're in good shape? Is that what you're saying to do that? Well, the one thing that we have to keep in mind too, we need money to do road work, prep work before that.
That's included in the warrant.
Okay, okay.
We changed the wording, I say we, the Board of Selectmen changed the wording of that some time ago, so that we didn't have to have a special warrant article to prep for the paving.
Correct.
Preparation and paving of major town roads, preparation.
I think you'll see Shirley and that stuff over there at a fairly high number. And we proposed a higher number for neighborhood this year, quite a bit higher, actually.
But in the warrant article, under the description, Pine Mill Drive is mentioned.
We don't need descriptions,
Yeah, we don't want to get too descriptive because if something changes, and that happened in the past. We've had that happen where.
we know what our intentions are.
Yeah.
And the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah. But we've had, a road that went bad one year that was unexpected, and we hadn't paid that before, and that's one of the reasons why we,
We can't control nature,
you know,
et cetera.
166.
Everything else is going well?
Yeah, so, so
You're recovered from the leg?
if you add this up, you're at 635,000, which is about what we've got.
and do we have money in there to do the prep work? Is that,
No,
That's
that
right.
doesn't include.
you
Well,
got that written in there?
We have it written in the warrant.
It's in the warrant article. Yeah, you've got reclaim, reclaim.
Yeah, the reclaim is not the prep work, but it's just,
That's still $31,000, there you look at it.
Yeah.
But Pine Mill is 37,000, because that's
but that one needs some.
like the worst roads.
Each for another year.
Absolutely, probably the worst road we have in town at the moment, so. Not only is it coming apart, but the blocks are just popping up everywhere, so we don't have to dig those all out.
So, questions on Willand Road? How much more work do you have to bring that up to where the $55,000 was gonna cover the project? Are you done? Is there more to be done?
We still have, I think the one thing left is, it's like a stone culvert bridge,
Mm-hmm.
and one side, you can't even see up it, it's collapsed a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that should be brought up. It seems to work, you know, but I don't know for how long.
Okay, so basically, except with that exception, you feel you're done with bringing that up to where you can maintain it now?
So that we can maintain it to the best we can.
Well, that's always the case, all right? It's in the road.
It's still the steepest, hardest hill to plow.
I fully understand that, but you know, the people who are paying for that through their taxes are asking questions.
No, okay,
And I told them I'd get them the best answers I could,
okay.
and we will. That's all right.
Yeah,
Good.
and it's not $50,000, it's 5,000. What is the yearly?
55.
55, but the total was $55,000 that we raised, and they're paying us back. But I wanted to know how much of the work was done, how much is left to be done. If that culvert is the big thing for that particular warrant article, then that's what I can say.
And they're not gonna be finished paying for that for a few more years.
Oh, no, it takes quite a while. At the rate they're doing, it's gonna take 10 years.
10 years.
Right.
But now that they're paying for it, I'm sure that they have higher expectations.
Always.
Sure. I think the road is so much better than when we first started there. It's much wider.
That's good.
It's, we've leveled out some of the areas that were bad.
Excellent.
And there's gravel on it. There's a sufficient amount of gravel on it to grade with now.
That's always helpful.
It's something to grade with, but.
Can't grade ledge. All right, anything else for you, Jim?
No, so when, if these warrant articles pass, I assume that you'll be putting these out to bid?
Yes, we talked about that before, that you'd like to have a couple more bids for stuff. We have one general one right now, but, you know, as in all bids, they're good for 30 days. So, as we have a proposal.
Right, and the bid that we were just looking at, this just gives us a working document for costs.
Budget
Correct.
estimate?
Yep, and that's what it says right on their proposal,
Right.
it's for budgetary
Budget.
purposes. Yep.
Yeah, it may work out better even, you never know.
Gas does seem like it's going down.
You want to keep a positive attitude at all times.
Yeah.
And I don't think the town shed extension made it unwarranted this year, did it?
A fund,
Capital reserve
Capital
of
reserve.
50,000.
Right.
So we need to tighten that bidding process up a little bit too.
Oh, I'm sure it'll get more expensive, not cheaper.
Well,
That was a pretty good price, I thought, $225 to do the whole project.
it's just a lot of money for an extension on that building.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
That's
Whole
without the heat.
whole building?
It's not full barn.
Well,
Whole
it's
barn.
balloon framed. It's
It's
some
trusses.
On the slabs. We took the rate.
Well, it's got 4-foot truss walls, you know, so you still need 4-foot walls for it.
But it's on current land, it should fit pretty easy.
Oh, yeah, and we have to move this, you know, we gotta redo the septic system. It's right next to it. And I don't think we don't feel it might have been permitted the first time we restored it.
Well, then we should do it without a permit this time.
Are you a licensed septic installer?
Oh, I am, yeah. We do, but you still, we have to get a, you know, plan, approved plan for this.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we'll put money aside for it.
Yes, Cammy.
Can you please get a new sign for Windmere? Their sign came down during a car accident.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, that's not our road,
It's not?
Windmere?
Yeah.
You're thinking of the condos?
Yeah.
That's private.
Okay.
They're responsible for that, but I can.
Nope.
We got a speed
I'll let him
sign question, what was that last week?
No, if somebody wanted a 30-mile-an-hour sign up on Shirley Way.
Right.
The chief recommended
35.
35.
No,
Hey,
no, I thought he recommended 30.
No.
read the minutes, that's all I can tell you.
Yeah, so I think you told me 30. You told me 30.
I thought it was
That's what
30.
heard.
Because I questioned it, I said, dirt roads in town are 25, paved roads are 35, but we're talking about 30 now, right? I questioned that at the meeting.
Yep.
And I could have sworn it was 30. I may be wrong, I've been wrong once or twice in my life.
But you're wrong, I am too, because I ordered a 30-mile-an-hour speed on this sign.
Put it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fast enough.
I think it was
It's
30.
more than fast enough, the road should be 25 in my mind.
Good. It should also be Lang's Pond Road with an S, but it's not.
You should be.
I didn't know that. If you order that sign, I'll pay for it personally.
Was
Put it
that
up personally.
originally Lang's?
Merritt Lake was Lang's Pond, after it was Levis Pond and Dishwater Pond. It goes on and on, but it's never been Lang Pond. Yes,
See the evidence.
that's possessive with an apostrophe and an S.
Wow.
All right. Anything else? Good. Go, have dinner.
Where you heading? Ready for bed.
Okay. Have a good night's sleep. Okay, with that being done, we're into action items. And action items today is to talk about warrant articles. We have our delightfully efficient town administrator here for us. And since I can't find that, I have 4 pages that say Article 27 and Article 28, and that's all I have. Why do I only have that?
You have, the full warrant article with the finance, I gave it to you earlier.
Okay.
And those
Take your
4
word
are
for
to
it.
be handed out, so.
Yeah, the only one, we voted on all of these.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you go about doing the operating budget.
And
The
that's here.
budget the budget committee will look at it tomorrow, I guess, and vote on it.
The operating budget?
Yeah. how
We've
does that-
already voted on ours 3-0.
Right.
We submitted it to the budget committee.
Right.
So the 4,900,000, or the 5,115,000,
There you go.
we voted on that.
Right. So I'll put
Right.
3-0 for your budget.
Oh.
And
Yes.
let me stop it.
This is gonna,
All we had left to work on was engine 4.
I did look up last year's minutes and it is called Fire Engine Capital Reserve. So Article 26 would read Fire Engine Capital Reserve.
it doesn't need to.
Needs to read exactly the way we put it right here. And then we need one below it. With the caveat that if Article 26 passed, then the one below it would be null and void. And that would be to put $151,000 into the capital reserve fund. That's simple.
I think it does need to be worded the same as the trustees have it because you're going to be using that 50,000 from last year to make your first payment on the lease. So we wanna put that money into the same fund, so I think I need to take out just the number 4.
So you need to replace Article 26 that we have over here with Article 27.
No, Article 26, I need to change the name of it from Fire Engine 4 to Fire Engine Capital Reserve.
Okay.
And then, if this does not pass, you wanna look at the heavy apparatus. And this is what was the word you used earlier? Basically, the budget committee didn't seem like they were in favor of the fire engine and going.
It's a compromise.
It's a compromise. So that if the fire engine doesn't pass, then the town.
The selectmen have to be agents to expend,
Mhm.
Yeah,
no matter how you do it. So that because the fire chief believes we're gonna put a warrant article on for engine 4, and we're not, if we're gonna do it that way, we're putting it into the capital reserve fund. But if the selectmen are agents to expend, that does authorize us to use that money to go into an agreement to get the truck built. We can expend it whenever we want. Am I not correct on that, fellow selectmen?
Can you read off the 2023 warrant article, exactly how it's worded?
Yes.
How it passed, I should say.
Right.
To see if the
That,
town,
that's how it was presented.
to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $50,000 to establish an Engine 4 capital reserve fund for the purpose of purchasing and equipping a new fire truck, as suggested by the Capital Improvements Committee, further to name the Board of Selectmen as agents to expend.
But it was amended.
The wording was changed.
Right, so
I want to know how it was.
Selectman Marty moved to reword the article, to amend it, to change the wording from engine 4 to apparatus. This would take off the limitations to a specific vehicle. After discussion, it would make, you talked about, it would make the funds available for any apparatus. And so then that was amended to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $50,000 to establish a fire engine capital reserve fund for the purpose of purchasing equipment, new fire apparatus, and equipping new fire apparatus. Furthermore, to name the Board of Selectmen as agent to expend. Max wanted the last sentence struck from it, that was voted down. So the moderator read the amended article, which passed. So it's now called the Fire Engine Capital Reserve Fund,
Okay.
So,
And that's Article 11.
with the selectmen as agents to expend.
so this Article 26 that we're proposing,
You want to add money to that.
we could do two things, in my opinion. I may be wrong, my brothers will correct me if I'm wrong. Is that this $151,000 that we're raising this year, we can either put into that fund, right there, that was passed last year, or we can have another warrant article to, which I think is unnecessary, to transfer that $50,000 to this. But I don't think we need to do that, because we can spend that on this without permission
Well,
from
we could get
anybody.
rid of Article 26 altogether, just go with Article 27 then.
No, you need
No, we need
permission.
151.
You need permission, I think, to enter a lease.
All I'm saying is, the money amounts remain the same. The only difference with Article 26, as it's written, is to enter into the lease purchase agreement.
Mhm.
So if that's a sticking point,
I think we need permission from the voter to enter into the agreement,
Which means you gotta leave it just the way it is.
just the way it is.
well, I know the chief gave us two prospectus. One was starting this year, one was starting next
So
year.
it's written right there, what we decided to do at that time, okay? I don't see any point in changing that.
Correct.
We can take the money out of the $50,000, or I'll say minus $1 out of the other fund, and add it to this when we go ahead and authorize the chief to enter, or at least let him know we're entering into that agreement, and he'll work with that. And then we can put one below it, that should this one pass, then we would not put $151,000 into the other fund. I'm adamant that we do it that way.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to say. I think I said it differently, but I think
Yes.
that's what I was trying to say.
Leave that one alone, just the way it is.
Article 26, we leave alone,
That gives you 151,000.
Yeah, if it passes.
Right,
And then last year's $50,000, we're already authorized to expend that, and we can use that to round it up to the 209,4222 that we need. So if Article 26 passes, we're all set for this year, and we've entered into an agreement for the fire engine.
Right.
If Article 26 doesn't pass, we probably need an option to put $151,000 into that account.
Well, that's what the Article 27 is, that she's giving us.
Article 27 is milfoil.
Yeah.
No, this one,
the
Oh.
one, the second one I gave.
What paper?
and it should be 151, not 150.
Right.
I don't think the $1,000 is gonna make a big difference.
Well, but it should also say, have the caveat at the end, that should Article 26 pass, this article will be null and void.
Well, it does say, in the event that Article 26 does not pass, so that's the condition of this warrant article. So if Article 26 passes.
I guess, yeah, we're coming at it from either end. Yeah,
Yeah,
that, I love this. Leave 26 alone, put this in here. The chief gets to stand in front of the voters and tell them why we need to have another fire truck to replace engine 4, which he's very good at. And if not, we're gonna put the money into the capital reserve. Okay, it puts it off a year or whatever it does. Actually, it doesn't put it off at all, if you think about it, because the selectmen are authorized to spend that money.
Well,
but it's gotta be the proper, it's gotta be the proper title, it has to be the same title as that,
Right, wherever the 50,000 is, we have to have that.
or
That's-
you have to have an Article 28.
Yeah, I would prefer just to change Article 26 to say Fire Engine Capital Reserve Fund. It's just changing.
No.
I know.
And 27.
I want 26 to be just the way it is, 27. In
Yeah.
case it doesn't pass.
because if Article 26 passes, that's the voters giving us authorization to enter into an agreement for this engine.
For 151,000.
Yeah, which we need. We're establishing intent and moving forward with this. If it doesn't pass, we still wanna put $150,000 into that account on top of the 50.
Yeah, because we need to sign up next year. We don't sign up next
Right,
year.
right.
Okay. But I don't, there was no label on last year's Article 11. So I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, there is. It was
Previously-
changed to fire apparatus.
Established.
Yes, engine 4.
I know engine 4 is in the,
It does say engine 4.
but it was changed.
That's how it was presented.
It got amended.
But it got amended, and it was changed to fire apparatus,
Well, it was changed to Fire Engine Capital Reserve Fund.
or fire engine capital reserve,
And
non-specific.
I feel strongly adding this 151 to the Fire Engine Capital Reserve Fund
We should be
That-
all right with 150.
keeps that super clean, right? You're gonna add 150, then you'll have your 200, and that way
Right.
you're not misleading the voters that it's gonna be 200 a year for 7 years. Because they're like, why do you
Well,
just need 150? Why don't you just make it clean and put it in
Because
the,
we've already
I
got.
guess I don't know why we need to dissolve the, what we did last year.
We don't.
We don't,
Make this happen. We don't.
we don't need to.
so the reason I included that was the CIP recommended, if you have the heavy apparatus, to dissolve the fire engine and put it in there. So I was trying to follow it through.
I don't care about that. We're gonna lose the voters at some point in time with 28 articles. Or actually 30 articles.
Well, this isn't necessarily the order that the articles are gonna be presented.
So we can get rid of the dissolution of that
Right.
capital reserve and put this 150 into that fire engine capital reserve, and then you have, because it's the same thing, you're buying a fire engine, why would you create a new,
Yeah, you don't create a new one.
no, just put it into the fire engine capital reserve that you already have. Then you have your money to go into the agreement. It's crazy.
As long as the wording of the article doesn't change, I'm
No.
happy, I'm very happy with the way that this is worded.
And so then So I did change the order of the warrant articles based on comments, and now you're gonna want me to change them all over again?
Well, I want to see what you have there. I don't think, okay,
You're like, this one has to go first. this
What's
one
the,
has to go last.
what's the new name of that article? The 2023 one? The one
never
that-
named.
Fire engine capital reserve fund.
Okay, and that's what it's called, fire engine, that's what Article 26 should say, fire engine capital reserve fund.
Yay, thank you.
No,
Okay, so,
But leave the wording of the article itself
Exactly.
alone. Don't touch the wording of the article. Just change.
okay,
just change
so
the title.
Article 1,
Wait a minute, they're still,
we're done with the fire engine, you're gonna have to figure it out. So Article 1 is Mirror Lake Watershed Management.
I think we need to come to a consensus here on fire engine.
I don't know how many times we have to say it, Bob, I thought it was clear. Now, the two new articles to read so that they can be inclusive with the 50,000 that we've already got there.
Yeah,
fire engine capital reserve fund.
And if one passes, that one has language for us to sign up for release.
Okay.
If it doesn't pass, then we're still putting $150,000 into the
capital reserve.
capital reserve.
Okay,
There's is there a confusion, Bob? I'm sorry.
the only confusion is what we're calling the fund. Let's see.
This is the first year, I'm just gonna editorialize here a bit.
Yeah,
This is the first year we've ever labeled warrant articles, ever. So the language is the most important thing. I don't think, there was no label on the last year's, you can look at it.
Okay.
It's this article right here. It had no heading label.
I don't believe we need a heading label.
okay.
We can refer to Article 11 from 2023.
I don't think we need all these descriptions either.
I'm with you there.
Okay.
I'm with, yeah.
I have a print out that was given at the town meeting as well as, for that Article 11, when it was amended.
yeah.
Yeah, but that established the fund, and I think the confusion is we're calling the fund one thing, but yet we have a title on Article 26, which is obviously throwing me off.
Right.
Well, again, we don't title warrant articles, we never have.
Okay,
We're not going to.
all right, it's just Article 26.
So it's more confusing as an outsider coming in, although you may not have done something for the last 20 years,
50 years.
100 years. You do have names when the trustees of the trust funds walk away from the meeting, they need to have a name. And obviously, you made a motion last year to change the name. So you do have names of what these are, you just don't have them bolded. And frankly, it's really difficult to navigate this document to find out, you voted on something, what was it? So, for the sake of efficiency and following along, as a voter, I strongly recommend you leave the titles.
Do we have to vote on
Oh,
No, you just like my warrant articles.
that? So, the town administrator has strongly recommended that we leave the titles that she has assigned to the warrant articles.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
I'll second that.
Well, I didn't make a motion. Remove it.
Because we'll go to the next question after that one.
I'll second.
Any further discussion on that? All those in favor of leaving the titles that the town administrator has appointed to each warrant article, say aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay. So the next, can I make a motion?
Certainly.
The next thing, if we're gonna get into structure, I want to eliminate the descriptions on all of these warrant
I
articles.
fully agree.
And we can bring this document to the town meeting, and where the description's needed, then we'll provide the description to the board.
I'm sure that the appropriate department heads, commissioners, etc., can explain it better than we do in most of the articles, and I agree with that, so I'll second that motion. Is there any other discussion on that? All those in favor of eliminating the descriptions? Aye.
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 Okay. So now are we numbering the articles?
Well, we need to decide which ones we want to go first. And I don't think the money for a new fire engine should be at the very end. People be half asleep or not there anymore.
In fact, that's why the operating budget was last, to keep them there.
It's always,
That doesn't
It
work.
doesn't work.
That's what I was told.
well, I'm
If
gonna,
it was first, half the people would be.
See?
then let's do the, you wanna do all the vehicles first? If we do the fire engine,
Yeah, we should do that,
then the police department.
yeah, and then paving after
At
that.
some point, you had thought the Mirror Lake watershed management needed to be cleared.
And- Yeah, cause it is a loan. So I think Mirror Lake's gonna go one. And then-
Okay.
And then we go to police two. Police cruiser.
Warm them up.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be so happy by then, if the news will be out, everybody will be. Very happy. So then, the first fire engine
Which is now Article 26.
will be number
Thank you very much.
two,
That'll be 3.
and 27 of those would be 4. Okay, so it's the alternative to the fire apparatus.
What's 4?
The handout,
Yeah, it's this one right here, it's Tammy.
I've got it.
Okay. And then paving 5,
Sure.
neighborhood 6.
All I have to do is find it.
Right in the
Neighborhood
front,
paving.
front page.
Okay. All right. It's
So it should be,
7,
solar,
so it should be right up there.
7.
7.
okay. And then, I think
We better
Canaan,
talk about, let's see, where's highway?
Canaan road drainage.
Yep.
Yep.
So let's make that 7 and make solar 8, because then you got paving all together with that.
Right.
Okay, good.
And then might as well do the highway,
Actually, before that, I would put the fire station generator.
Okay,
okay,
so you want that as,
Call that number 9.
okay, that's 9.
keeps the fire department with the fire department.
Pretty close. Yeah.
And then,
I wouldn't wait too long on your contingency fund.
No, but then we need to talk about the highway facilities capital reserve.
okay, then let's do the,
And then the contingency, which should be right after that.
well, wait, let's do transfer station capital reserve as 10. And then land acquisition as 11. It's currently Article 24. You see it?
I got it.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So that'll be 11. Yeah, and then the rest of it's pretty
And then, highway facilities should be 12,
Yep.
which is right about 11.
Yep.
And then after that, we should talk about the contingency.
Yep.
13.
And it's 13. And capital reserve for the.
Environmental,
I'm sorry.
environmental study of 19 Mile Brook should probably follow.
Yeah, 14.
And so far,
And simplified to be 15. And then, mill pool would be 16.
Yeah.
No, we just for the operating budget. Alright. I think there's anything left.
Think you're right.
So how many do we have left there?
So 17's operating?
Yep.
those aren't the real numbers, so.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they doesn't have a number yet.
Well, it should be 17, but
Well,
It was 19 last year, so the two were.
Well, you didn't have any zoning, so your numbers are gonna be in the 20s because of the zoning warrant articles. You're gonna start at 30.
there aren't any zoning warrant articles.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Where?
It's gonna be on the ballot.
That's not a warrant article.
Right. But it,
Jen usually takes 1 and 2.
you have to do it the state's way.
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's no money involved, that's the thing.
Right, you know, when it's already voted on.
I got a couple of spelling corrections.
Yeah,
Actually, the two of them are in the descriptions, which we're not gonna use. So if you go to Article 21, which is the new Article 7, third sentence, right in the middle, constrict should have an S at the end.
under the Canaan Road.
Yeah. Third sentence, right in the middle, constrict should have an S.
Oh, we've put that on and taken it off.
Well,
Is this the last time?
look down at your description. Your description is
Is it?
perfect. It says, Canaan Road culvert that
Constricts.
constricts the Melvin River. So yes, it needs an S.
We're a country town, we should be able to make vernacular.
It ain't all that important.
Yeah, Article 25, 15, Central Park upgrades. Third sentence, right at the beginning, Central Park property, comma, with Board of Selectmen as agents to expand.
Got it.
And that was it. Oh yeah, in the rate of increase, I questioned the 12%.
Right.
This is on the back page.
Yeah, I think it's 14.
I did change that a little bit because I didn't add that sentence, tax impact if no money's from unassigned fund balance. That was on previous years. So I moved that to the bottom because the other summary information was it didn't relate. So I did reorganize that page a little bit.
This page.
Correct, no, well, this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I thought we were over $500,000 increase. And I'll take your word for the percentages. So I'm free tomorrow, I'll come in after she puts the film in pictures. And make sure it makes sense. Does DRA seen any of these?
No, I need to send to budget committee and to DRA tomorrow.
DRA will pick up on political ads.
So, do we feel we're finished reviewing warrant items?
I think so.
All right, we'll move on. Chief, did you bring your petition warrant article with you?
I have it. If needed.
Do you feel comfortable that you can eliminate that now?
Yep.
Very good.
From what
Well, let's hold off until after tomorrow's meeting.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
okay,
gonna hold off.
He
Well,
only
until-
has till tomorrow, business day.
right. If it's gonna get submitted, it has to be before 5 o'clock tomorrow.
And have. I was gonna say have DRA look at it.
Why would he hold off till after budget? The warrant articles are all you.
That's right,
And we're presenting.
that's right.
The only concern that we had was that it wouldn't go before the voters.
No, it's gonna go for what you just heard tonight is going before the
Yes.
voters,
It may go with,
regardless of what the budget committee says.
Right.
right, it may go
That,
without their
that was our
recommendation.
concern, if the budget committee objected, that the select board wasn't going to push it forward.
It's likely gonna go forward without their recommendation,
I'm fine.
but you have ours.
So we don't know that quite yet, but
Right.
it'll go forward whether they recommend it or not.
You'll have your opportunity to speak, as always, and you do a good job presenting.
So as far as the budget committee, would you like me present tomorrow?
Actually,
I think it would hurt.
I'm not the budget committee representative.
Yeah, I don't know. We could really get into the weeds. And I think we've made the decision that we're gonna put these warrant articles forward regardless. And so I'm not certain that it would make a nice evening for you. I mean, a lot of the
Does it need to be
discussions,
nice?
a lot of the discussion is gonna be meaningless if we think they have control.
Right.
And they don't.
And, you know, as far as, the whole study that they're asking for, I'm not objecting against it.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
But I do feel that it should come
Whether you
from,
object or not, it's gonna
right,
happen.
no, but I do feel that it should come from their budget, if they have one.
You don't.
As far as that goes.
But it won't
No,
come,
not
it
ours.
won't come from your budget.
Right. You know, I read the most recent study that was just done by MRI from Meredith, and I think that it,
Can you get a copy of that? Because maybe we share that with, do you mind if we share it?
well, it's public knowledge.
Okay.
So,
So I'll share this with the budget committee tomorrow.
Yeah.
And say, let's have some continuing discussions
Right.
during the year. It's not gonna go on the warrant, because we've already voted on the warrant.
Mhm.
It's not in the budget, but we've got other monies kicking around.
I think that it outlines a lot of things that we have said all along, as far as that goes. And I think that we're quite a ways ahead of other areas. For being a small town, we're very forward thinking as far as what has been done in our town compared to other towns.
I think you're spot on, but you're one person.
Right.
And the three of us, I don't feel are qualified to make that decision
Right.
without a professional organization
Yeah,
telling us.
most
Or
definitely.
justification.
It's unfortunate that we have to spend from $15,000 to $30,000 on something that we know that's what it's gonna say.
I know.
But yes, I think you're 100%, you're accurate with that.
And you've talked about, you yourself have talked about scenarios changing, where we're seeing less fires, more medical. You know, you've shown the trend.
But the unfortunate thing is, we still have fires,
You still have fires.
and we still need to have the apparatus in place.
If you have one fire a year, you still need
Right.
the apparatus.
Yeah, let's not, we can go on and on and on about
Right.
this. I think we kind of agreed that our program going forward is the warrant as it stands,
Sure,
and then let's have continuing discussion.
okay.
And then next year, who knows? I mean, we're
Right.
definitely gonna have to budget for a fire truck.
Well, not to prolong it, but my personal opinion is the study will come back. It will say that we're understaffed, we're under-equipped, and we're underpaid.
Well, I think.
That's my prediction.
Payment-wise, I think that we're,
Yeah.
you know, we had that payment study as far as.
We did, and it was a,
And
eye-opener.
it made quite a difference. I think that we have, you know, as I said, we have an ambulance. We're not staffed to the point that you would be using one. We're on, well, I had discussed real good to try to find out what that's.
I need to know when and who the insurance company was.
Yes.
Because I don't have that information.
Okay.
I'll gladly get in the trenches on that one.
Okay, very good. So yes, we have an ambulance, we provide first response already, and we transport, you know, we have all that stuff in place, which bigger towns beside us don't have currently. Unfortunately, talking with, you know, some people that are out there are things that are going on as far as like Wolfboro, that I believe that maybe one of the Wolfboro Selectmen or someone had talked to some people, a person in town, and said something about Wolfboro providing us coverage. Well, I kind of chuckled at that because they currently had 2 ambulances that they were getting for roughly $283,000 a year that were staffed at the advanced level, which is just under the paramedic level. And then they put it out to bid. Once it was put out to bid, one of the bids come back at 900 something thousand, the other one came back at 1.4 million for one ambulance, not two. So they're currently, in their status, they still have two ambulances that are running out until the new budget comes in process. And we're going into Wolfboro for calls that they can't handle because they don't have enough ambulances. As far as, you know, if multiple calls come in back to back. They've had 2 instances in the past couple of months that they've had 3 calls back to back that we've gone in and transported a patient from Wolfboro. So I don't foresee them, if they took over, coming in and transporting me out.
I'd sooner go down, and if you look at this study scenario, I would sooner look at replacing or increasing the number of full-time staff so that you can actually have your own ambulance service. I mean, I think that's ultimately gonna happen.
Right. Well,
And, you know, maybe that means that instead of having 3 fire engines, we have, or 3 major engines, we have 2 major engines and 1 minor engine, or something like that. I don't know enough about fire engines.
right.
But that's, I think, the dynamic that might be looked at, as opposed to, you know, eliminating a fire station someplace, or trying to gin down the number of fire engines that we have just because we don't want to spend any money.
Right.
I mean, I can see increasing, and that's good for the community too, because they have more full-time employees, more full-time employment, you know.
So Moltenboro just went completely 24 hours a day, and they still don't transport.
Well, that's their.
Wolfboro has always been 24 hours a day, and they were looking at putting 11 more people on to be a transport agency. And we're doing what we do now as much as we can with 3 full-time, and we have an ambulance. But I would not sit here and tell you that we could cover everything 24 hours a day.
Well, we can't with what we have.
Right.
But is that the goal, is that the direction we'll go to on the ambulance side of things? And that,
Right.
those questions need to be answered, I think.
So does the board want to entertain MRI to do a study? Do you want another warrant article for 15,000?
No,
I don't think there's movement on the board to do that. I think we can scrape up $15,000 someplace, I'm sure. We have to, but I'm not convinced that we have to quite yet.
And $15,000, is that just the beginning? Or, you know, how in depth?
So we're a town of 2,000 people. I
Right.
mean, how much money can you invest in
With studies?
studies?
Well, I'm hoping that that would get us a study and a report.
Right.
You know, I'm in favor of it, and I'm in favor of doing it this year. If you seem to think that,
I'm not in favor of adding anything to the warrant. I mean, I think we're gonna have a hard enough to push just getting what we've got on there. And especially with the fire apparatus, which is gonna confuse people. I don't know, if you wanna present some, what do you think, Guy?
I'm not in favor of a study at all, ever. I think the chief has convinced me many times over when he needs something, what he sees for the future. And again, the last time we did a study, it was a huge hit. And although the study was done,
That was the whole town.
I fully understand that.
Yeah.
But we paid for a very comprehensive study, which included job descriptions, which are never implemented. We could have taken 2/3 of that study and thrown it in the trash for all it was worth, because they didn't use it for anything, except to give pay raises. And that's fine, it's done. However, I don't think the study is necessary. I think we know what direction we're headed in.
Well, in that vein, I think the reason that study was significantly valueless is because it wasn't given direction. Because I remember when that happened.
Absolutely.
And I think if we can whittle down what our goals think they are, or what direction we're going in, and focus on the fire department. I think we can do it for a reasonable amount of money and have a reasonable, good return with information. I mean, we're not just giving some company carte blanche to, I mean, I haven't read the Meredith one, so I think I'd like to read it before I make.
It's 85 pages.
But we're not gonna put a warrant article on this year. Is there a thought?
I'm not gonna move a warrant article, but
I'm not
somebody else
either.
wants to.
No, I won't move a warrant article at this point. If we talked about this a couple of months ago, I might have, but I'm not gonna move one today.
And I'm not sure what the budget, I'm sorry about that.
But I do think that, that's the direction that we're going, and I think a study would benefit everybody.
But I don't know what,
Careful what you ask for, you may get it.
I'm trying to figure out what the budget committee wants most of the time. And as far as the study is concerned, I don't have a handle on what they want. And I'm not about to present a warrant article that just says, tell us how to run the town with regards to fire and rescue.
Well,
We have a chief for that.
you gotta read your RSAs. The budget committee can want all they want to on a warrant article. That's not their purview, period. The budget is their purview. They can ask, and they can want, and they can not recommend. They can do all that. But when it comes down to it, the Board of Selectmen creates the warrant articles, like it or not.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, happy chief, you don't have to come tomorrow if you.
Alright.
I wouldn't put myself through it.
I'm near the cell phone if someone's there, and
Okay.
You're on call.
simple as that.
All
I
right.
appreciate
I'll light the
you.
place on fire if they need to. It'd be a good reason to show up.
I appreciate you taking the time to go through the warrants and look at them.
Well, we have to.
Well, but as far as, you could just say, nah, we're not.
No,
We're
we,
doing this, but at least you're taking the time to go through and, looking at them a little bit closer as far as it goes, and trying not to confuse people.
And this is life safety, and I've said on numerous occasions that I'm not gonna mess around with life safety.
Right.
If your recommendation is this, then I have full faith in you
Right.
and your recommendation.
I mean, unfortunately, we've been through this several times in my time period as far as, and we're right back around to it as far as closing stations and, you know.
It's
the
always
trucking
gonna be
stuff.
there, it's
Oh,
never going
100%.
away.
I've
You know,
lived
it's
with it for
never
22
going
years. so.
anywhere. It's unfortunate, that's the town you live in. And-
Awesome.
And all you need is to have one or two people who haven't lived here more than 2 or 3 years show up on a board, and you're gonna revisit all of
All
the
of it,
questions
yeah.
all over again.
Or the
Right.
town administrator.
Or the town administrator was with descriptions.
all right. Can we consider ourselves done with warrant articles for the evening?
I am.
Right. We're moving to town administrator and selectmen's updates. So, town administrator,
Okay, last week, Cammie and I worked on New Hampshire retirement system audit. We had, Tim Green came in for their preliminary audit. I wanna thank the transfer station guys for showing up and cleaning the basement out.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Nice.
Spent a lot of time on warrant article drafting. Representative Mark McConkey's gonna come in
I think
to,
she come up to the table.
okay.
Mark McConkey's coming here.
He is coming here on February 20th. That's your next meeting, which is a Tuesday, not a Monday.
Why?
Because the state's putting together the next 10-year road plan,
Oh, good.
and you have a couple of heavily used state roads going through town.
Right, good luck getting money spent on them. It's the same.
I'm gonna editorialize or opine on that. The fact that we get anybody to come at all is a miracle. So let's not downplay it any more than we have to, okay? Let's see if we can get him to drive up and down 109A a few times.
Or
171.
Complex is
Yeah,
171.
anything like that, right?
Well, he would be coming, 171 to get here.
Well, actually, I suggested to Representative Pettinell that she tell him to come down and come all the way up 109A.
So he'll be here the 20th. We figured out the betterment, and I fixed Muni Smart, so it shouldn't happen again. It was something that has been Muni Smart for Jackie. We sent out an email, I sent out an email to go bi-weekly on accounts payable. That will not include the road agent, at least for a few months. We're gonna give him time to transition to that. I asked him by September, to have a goal to do that.
Well, and I was a little confused, I didn't know, the departments really don't have to worry about that, they could put their bills in weekly, you're just gonna pay them bi-weekly.
Correct.
Are you gonna do them on alternate weeks as payroll? Or are we gonna have two,
We're not going,
check signing sessions?
we're not going bi-weekly with payroll yet,
Right.
until we've evaluated it and looked at the pros and cons.
Okay,
We-
and got staff input?
It sounds like we're gonna have more bills to sign checks for every other week.
I don't know if you will, I mean, you had a lot last week,
Yeah.
because the vendors are repetitive. And so if you have 5 bills for Irving, it spits out 1 check. So, but Cammie can do them on a Friday, she's not having 1 week to spend hours to get them all in.
Yeah, and some of them, some of the bills are monthly, it could be monthly statements, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter whether it's weekly or bi-weekly.
So, but I did call, Jim and said, I realized this could impact him, because he does bill us weekly.
Yep.
And he has staff, so. Are you playing on the computer?
Trying to see which one is recording this.
This one's voice recording you, but this one's doing both right now.
Okay.
The camera froze a long time
I
ago.
got distracted.
I know, I said so. And we did get, a plan, what was it, Cammie, from, for the wharf?
Yeah, when are they starting?
He doesn't have a start date yet, it was supposed to be like the
Mid-January.
first week, I know, and then the first week of February, so we don't have a start date yet on the wharf.
Well, we have an end date, where he's gonna start paying penalties.
Mhm.
So,
Might wanna remind him of that.
yeah, I'm hoping this week catch up for, the budget committee tomorrow night and be prepared for the public hearing on the 13th,
Okay, the week is the 13th,
on Tuesday,
so it's a week from tomorrow,
right?
alright.
So they have to vote on everything and be good tomorrow.
Actually, no.
Well, they can vote.
They can vote after the budget hearing if they want.
Well,
And they have to on the budget itself, but they can vote
Right.
on the warrant articles after that if they want to.
Oh, can they?
Yes.
All right.
Well, it's not till then, that was.
But I'll be in the DRA website having everything in there, so that once that budget vote happens, I can run in, print the 737 and have them sign it. I don't know what your normal process has been here, but, my experience was I had to wait for everyone to come in and sign it from the budget committee. I'd rather have them hang out for a couple minutes and get it signed so I can upload it.
Sounds good.
Get it in the town report.
Right.
Do you have the printout set up for that?
Have you contacted Minuteman yet, Kenny?
Nope.
So, but.
Well, they're waiting for me
Yeah.
to send the stuff. Yes, they
Yeah.
know it's coming.
Yeah, so we had a couple outstanding. I saw your reminders last week.
Who's doing the selectmen one? Because I don't have that yet.
What with the bang?
You want your swan song?
I prefer not to speak at all, even in writing.
I don't mind if you don't want to do flowers.
Well, I think the chairman should be responsible for the town report, and he doesn't wanna do it, so you're the vice chairman.
All right, do it.
I make a motion we have.
No, don't vote on it.
Shift life's downhill.
Okay, I'll do it. When do you need it?
Tomorrow.
What?
Can you do it by the end of the week?
I can,
Okay.
I can. Absolutely, I can.
If you wanted to just have bullets and dictate,
No, I'll write it out. I do one, and,
He's a pretty good wordsmith.
yeah. I'll try to.
have you read it? Try to read it?
I can read it.
Well,
Why do we have Candy?
I can read it.
Okay.
But I do take dictation too.
Do you have anything for me?
Oh. Speaking of Willand Road,
Oh, yeah.
when you have time. I realize you,
I was just very confused because that's the betterment tax, correct?
Right.
it's not the tax, it's the amount of money that was raised and how much is left.
Betterment assessment, so it is added to their tax bill.
So it's at 5,500.
55,000. It's not how much money, it's how much money has been spent out of the 55,000 that was raised
Right.
by
Has
tax.
it been raised yet?
Yes,
Yeah,
2 years ago.
so we levied them 2 years ago and they're paying us off over a 10-year period.
So should that amount not be in the operating budget revenue in calculating the numbers?
No, I think it has
has
to
to
be
be
because
revenue.
it's not included in the tax revenues when
Right.
Jackie does her thing. So this is a deal between the selectmen and the people, not between the tax collector and the people. So we set the betterment rate, not the tax collector.
So if the road agent has to replace a culvert for significant money, there's not a separate bucket of money for that to come out of?
No. Here's the 55,000 was to bring it up to class 5 standards. If he has to replace a culvert, it's a class 5 road. We have to replace culverts all over the place.
And that comes out of the operating budget.
Right.
Okay.
But I need to know how much of the $55,000 that was raised is left, if any. How much was spent will be fine.
Do you know if it was in a separate fund? Or do I have to go through all his bills from when you took it over?
You'd have to go through all the bills
Yeah, I think you have to go through the bills.
for 2 years.
Are you gonna ask him for a report? Is he computerized yet?
Not by road, I don't think.
Would Jack Whitmer know?
So,
No.
No.
No, his bills would say that something was
what
done.
year was
2 years ago or 19?
It was,
No.
it was 20.
It wasn't this past town meeting, it was the
It
town
was
meeting before.
2020, because
So
Bill
we haven't
Maxey was still
heard
here.
21 then.
that? We haven't purged 20 accounts payable yet,
No, it would have been 22,
No.
March of 22.
Or 2 years ago?
No, Bill was still here as a selectman when we did that,
Marcuson.
yes.
I want to say I
It's
just
20.
started when you guys were doing
It's
it.
2020 that we actually voted to do, it was on that warrant. I looked it up the other day in my town reports, but he would have started the work immediately, so I would say, if you can, and again, right now I know you're busy, but possibly before I'm gone. Would be nice.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Selectmen's update.
Keep up
This
the
is
good work.
Chip's gonna put a smile on my face.
I am, because last week, you may remember, or you may not, depending on your memory, that I asked each one of the budget committee members, what do you wanna know about solar?
Mhm.
Fiscal, 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 everybody's fiscal. So what I've done is I've simplified this to just fiscal. So currently, we have $350,000 sitting in our fund, and the annual rate of return on that currently is 0.78%. So not even 1%. Historically, the whole fund, not just the 350, but all the money that the trust fund handles, has returned 2.78% over its lifespan on an average. Okay, so if we, that's where the money's sitting now, it's sitting at 0.78%. This is the only warrant article I have ever experienced in my vast lifetime of selectmen, where we actually are actually taking on an asset. It's not like a fire department, it's not like a fire engine, it's not like a police car, it's not like a police station, it's an asset. So rather than thinking about how long will it take us to pay it off, or when's the payback, the payback's from day one. This is gonna generate 9% return on our $350,000. So you currently have your $350,000 sitting at 0.78%, less than 1%. And even using the reduced numbers that were demanded of me, because we don't buy our power at 11 cents at the transfer station, it's an industrial thing. But even using that, it's a 9% return every year. So you've gone from a 1% return to a 9% return. Is that enough? If that's not enough, every single operator who's presented us with a solar proposal has told us lease us the land and put it in. So that makes me think that at any given point in time, we could sell it. It's not encumbered, we could sell it. So let's say you could sell it for $300,000 in 2 years. Okay? And you put your $300,000 back at 1% return. Those are your choices. So if you just look at it fiscally, that's the game.
Right, the numbers work.
Yeah. Yeah. So you get a 9% return on your $350,000 annually.
I'm blown away,
Are you?
but that's an impressive number.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's,
I mean, even if,
It's an
even if
impressive
you
number.
take the hyperbole that was going around the table last week,
mhm.
and say electricity's gonna cut in half. All right, so now you're getting 5.5% or 5%. You're still not, you're never gonna drive it down to 1%. And I don't think electricity's going in that direction that quickly.
No.
And I did, and Rachel was nice enough to send the current rates for February 24 with all, and there's
I do pro forma.
and a performer, but 3 pages of it,
Mhm.
of rates. All rates are not residential rates.
Right.
Right.
And we'll only get 18%, which is another reason we should bang on Mark McConkey's knucklehead. We need virtual net metering, because right now only 18% of the power that we're proposing is gonna get net metered. And that's a significant difference. There's like a 4-cent difference in the insurance. We can get that up into the $11,000 or $12,000 range. Which would, and right now we're at 9,000.
Well, that's just as simple,
No sense.
it's so simple I can understand. Let's put it
Yeah,
that way.
it takes all the other shit off the
Right.
table. It doesn't matter about the environment.
I've got a savings account that's gonna pay me less than 1%, and I've got one that's gonna give me money at 9%, what am I gonna do? That's good.
Yeah, would you let us take the money out of the account to just put it in some other investment at 9%? Well, that's what we're doing.
Right.
Well, you don't have to sell me on the solar. I'm sold on the solar.
I don't think I have to sell them.
No, you don't have to sell the budget committee either.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Why did you use the trustees of the trust funds numbers instead of the money market?
because they are limited to where they can invest their money. And and they invest the money. We don't. So we can't say, we
They
did,
don't,
but,
they don't have the unassigned fund balance, so
yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
trustees of the trust fund do?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have to, that's where all our money is. It's not in our pocket. Yeah. And even if we were in the bank if it was sitting in Meredith Savings, we're getting less than that. Cause I don't think, they're not paying more than 1%, they might be 1.5%. But I'm not getting much return on my money at Meredith Savings. But the thing with the trustees of the trust funds, they are really limited in the scope of investment they can make, you know, where they can put it. And we had 2 selectmen here in the early 80s, before that rule was in place, who made our taxes go down every year because they kept investing it in the market the way they would invest it. And DRA just went fucking crazy. You can't put the people's money at risk.
Right.
So that's my story. I'm sticking to it tomorrow.
Beautiful. Thank you for doing the work. And the twist is something I wouldn't have thought of.
That's why you don't need
That's right.
some of your twists.
Oh, high pockets.
I wouldn't have thought of either.
Bob,
I didn't have any other meetings other than budget committee last week, which we were all at, so I don't have any productive updates.
Chairman Susan Weeks and I attended a meeting in Wolfboro last Thursday night. Representatives from the State Agricultural Commission came and talked about different programs and laws that, or rules, regulations, laws that conflict with each other in the state, and how they would like to try to get some of this smoothed out so that everybody's on the same page. She mentioned that only 6% of the state's food in general comes from New Hampshire agriculture, which they think is a bad thing, and I tend to think that's true, and ways to promote more agriculture and help people. So there was a lot of good points that she made. There's some bills coming before the House, like I say, to get rid of conflicting regulations. And the takeaway was that the federal government regulations and the state regulations sometimes conflict severely, and there should be no reason for it. And how to get that straightened out, but they are working on that. But that was a very interesting little talk for agricultural stuff. And by the way, we do need volunteers for the Agricultural Commission if anybody's interested. And that was pretty much what I did since we had the last meeting.
And you're chairman that runs?
As soon as I'm done being selectman,
No, it doesn't.
I'm the selectman's representative.
Oh, I thought you were.
I'm not a member at large, so to speak.
Put on that as a number. Do you want to be?
I don't know yet.
Well, let us know.
I will.
In your report, you reminded me that the treasurer set up the account for Meredith Village Savings Bank for the Agricultural Commission,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the paperwork here for the selectmen to sign it. So,
I actually set it up.
yeah, but he had to go get the paperwork.
He had to go pick it up.
Our in-house banker.
If you'd like us to look at that, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we have the chairman sign it, or do we all have?
You all
Yeah,
have to
that's
sign it, it's a bank account. And, yeah, you only have a few weeks left, so
My name's on the paper.
Mm-hmm.
you can sign it. It'll be.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Uh,
And then only one of you have to sign that page that's tagged.
So we're gonna get a new one of these tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick the draft off it.
While we're in selectmen's updates. It's all of our update, but obviously we have to post the position for the police chief.
Right.
One of the requirements traditionally has been that the police chief lives in Tuftonboro. With the current housing shortages, practices, etc., that might be a hard road to hoe for a potential police chief. Do we have the authority to waive that requirement?
Other towns have done
I don't see why I don't think we need to enforce that in any way, because it's gonna really limit the candidates like to zero.
I think,
it. I think it should be at the selectmen's discretion.
well, I think you, both you and Guy.
Oh, wait, did I miss something? Oh, no, there's another sheet with no stickies on
The
it.
corporate resolution.
So anyway, okay, we can agree that we can waive that requirement if necessary.
Yeah,
There are only so many policemen already living in town, and what are you gonna do?
well, this,
Something to think about,
I think we can.
depending on the qualifications.
I'd rather have the chief live in town.
Well, so would I. I'd rather have all our police department and all our private, everyone in town. However, you gotta face the harsh realities.
Do we need affordable housing?
Absolutely. Or any housing.
And
There's not a lot on the market right now.
there's quite a few houses sold.
Yeah, there is, and I certainly couldn't afford to buy one of them. You want that, Audrey?
I do.
All right, any
I
other?
guess that's, I'll go back to my statement that I'm hoping Bob will take it forward to our planning board. But they need to they put up these driveway amendments or whatever for zoning. They need to put up some zoning that says, okay, you're gonna put a 10-lot subdivision and 3 of them are gonna be affordable. You know, everybody isn't gonna get $1 million house. It just isn't gonna happen, because what happens is you end up with no worker housing, no cheaper police housing, you know.
Mhm.
They do it everywhere. Or sometimes they do it as much as the town will buy. Like at Aspen, I know the town bought a
Right.
bunch of condos. You can buy the condo for $150,000, but you gotta work there. And when you quit, you gotta sell it back to them for $150,000.
Well, it's an issue whenever we're trying to hire anybody,
Yeah,
and it's rough, real rough. Something to think about.
So you're gonna be, putting an ad out for police chief?
I'll get a job description for you guys to review.
Actually, we have one. I'll give it to you after we adjourn the meeting. I have to go through my book and find it, but I have it.
Okay.
And unless you guys want to look, it's a Thornton study, but that one's fairly accurate for what a police chief should do. Do we have any other business we'd like to hash over tonight?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I get that now, Audrey.